What's up, Lynchburg fans? Kyle Hoehne, Joshua Knapp, brand new men's volleyball coach at Lynchburg. It's The Break, Season 1, Episode 5, I think, Josh. But you're the newest head coach on campus. We had to get you inside JoJo's for some fun. Had you been to JoJo's before?
I have.
Okay.
I've been in town for a little bit.
Yeah.
So I have been to JoJo's. It's a good spot for us here, yeah.
Well, we're going to play pool. Joshua said before we came on you grew up with a pool table in your basement, so I could be in trouble.
We'll see.
Well, you want to break or you want me to break?
I'll take break.
He's going to break. Okay. All right, so, we decided let's just start from the beginning. Tell us about Josh Knapp as a lad, as a young guy up there in Gaithersburg, Maryland.
Yeah, so grew up in Gaithersburg. I played about every sport growing up, but once when I got down to it, it came down to baseball and volleyball to me. I had three sisters. Both my parents were involved in coaching locally, so volleyball really stuck with me, and I kind of stuck with that route through my whole kind of middle school, high school career down there, and so yeah, it's been a part of my life for a long time, and loved it through and through.
So tell us about the youth volleyball, high school volleyball scene up there, because in Central Virginia, and probably where a lot of our folks watching are from, men's volleyball is not huge. I think people are aware that it exists, but it's certainly not the cachet of a baseball or a basketball.
Yeah, in Maryland, high school is still a growing aspect on the men's side. So my area did have a few boys' high school volleyball teams, but growing up, I was actually homeschooled. So
okay.
I wasn't actually playing on high school. I just did travel club, and then played a lot of men's tournaments throughout my area down there. So the volleyball area wasn't super strong outside we're close to DC, and we had a great kind of community on that volleyball side for the men's. Yeah.
So what led you to Liberty University?
Well, I committed to Liberty pretty early. In my junior year of high school, and I worked with that coach just kind of building a great recruitment class moving towards. My sister went there before me, so I have two older sisters, one younger, and that kind of got me involved in the university early. I came up, I was able to interact with that men's team for a long time. That coach was the first one to contact me throughout my high school side. So during that process, I was looking at the recruitment side and where I wanted to go. I wanted to stay semi-locally, so I didn't want to go too far. And for men's volleyball, it's still a growing sport for the collegiate side. And so, D1, there were some options. D2, I looked at the Conference Carolinas all down the East Coast. But Liberty really stuck out to me just for the environment and the campus. It's a beautiful campus, and they have a really solid volleyball program out there on the club side. So when it came down to it, committed there early, and the coach was able to use me to build a great recruitment class around that, and joined a team that had 9 seniors on my freshman year. After that, we just kept on rolling. So it was a good experience for the athletic side down there, but chose Liberty pretty early just because of the environment, and I was around it often.
Well, I can tell already that you're modest, but we should say you were a pretty good player in your day at Liberty, correct?
I wasn't too bad out there. People would say one of the more dominant players at Liberty. I chose club. It was still a good environment for me, but I was recruited a few other places, and was a part of the USAV training camps, and got up across through my high school career. So I'm 6'8", lefty opposite hitter, and that's a pretty easy combo to work with. So we took Liberty to 2 third-place finishes through my freshman year and my senior year, and we played through the COVID semesters that we had to see. So we had a great team, and it was a really awesome experience to just be able to play at the college level, no matter which one you chose for that.
And so tell us about the end of your career, because you toyed with the idea of maybe, slide around here, trying to do some professional things, and talking about even playing overseas or something, but somehow you got wrapped up in this coaching gig.
Yeah, senior year I got injured in about 5 different ways. I had shoulder, back, some Achilles issues. Had to get surgery on my shoulder after my season concluded. So volleyball stopped being as much my focus on the athletic side. But I still tried to pursue a little bit in college, and then right after a little bit of the grass and the beach volleyball side. Got to play grass nationals over my junior season in college and took 5th out there. And so just really have a great passion for it. But the coaching just kind of was an easy transition. Right when I graduated, I was able to become the assistant coach at Liberty, and was a good part of getting my footing for my coaching career. So when it came down to it, coaching was a really great next step for my passion and love for the game, but also how my body was affected at the end.
So I want to go on a side street real quick here. Indoor, grass, and beach. You played all 3.
Yeah.
Tell about the playing differences. I mean, I think people know on beach you've obviously got less people. Grass is the same way, but talk about some of those nuances to the 3 different kinds of volleyball, because they all bring something kind of unique, right?
Yeah. One of my goals, especially when I was been involved in the coaching aspect, is to view volleyball from all aspects. Athlete, officiating, and from all different sides, women's, men's. I think it gives you a great view of the sport in general. Grass, beach, and indoor all have their different aspects. Indoor, about power and speed, especially on the men's side. Beach and grass has a little bit more finesse, and you're dealing with the elements. And so when it comes down to it, I think it really opens up just the creativity and the weapons you have to use as an athlete, and also that has determined a little bit of where my systems go for how I coach and what I like to do. So it's not terrible to play all of them. There's not a lot of crossover though. For indoor, you want to be very specific in the power and the speed and the form. Beach and grass can take away from some of the refining of your talent out there, but it opens up who you are as a competitor. I think it's a really great aspect if guys are just involved, even in other sports. It just adds a level of creativity to who they are as an athlete.
Well, you hit on officiating, which is kind of I think maybe unique, because a lot of times coaching and officiating don't mix. But you said you wanted to see this game from every angle, and the officiating is kind of how you got turned on a little bit to this job here at the University of Lynchburg, correct? You were reffing some of the women's games, right?
Yeah, so I was out here for one of the women's matches, and that's kind of where I heard more about the position opening. And I know some of the staff on campus, but that's where I really started to look into it more. Got to see the environment from a different angle, but the officiating side definitely helps with opening up some doors. But it's a great view. Often coaches don't have great relationships with officials, so it's even that fun environment to see those different aspects and different sides of the game.
So when you did see Lynchburg up close and personal, what were some of the attractors to this place?
Well, it was about a 10-minute drive down the road, so that was a really nice change. A lot of times it would be displacing you from having to move and find a different location, but when it came down to what really attracted me to it was mainly the athletic environment, as well as the volleyball community side of it. So the athletic environment, there's a lot of universities that I've seen across the country that don't have what Lynchburg has, which is all those programs really work well together, and they're there to see each other succeed side by side. And so it's something that really I was able to see early on, especially in that interview process and from being locally. And so when it came down to it, the athletic side was huge. I think John Waters, the athletic director, has been doing a great job of building the environment for those student athletes. The Code Red games and The environment that has been created on that aspect has been awesome, and being in town, I've been able to see the athletic programs grow over time and what's been happening on campus. So overall, the other side is the volleyball community. I think Kevin Cardoza, what he's doing and what he wants to happen with the 3 volleyball programs on campus is having a lot of overlap and seeing that be one giant family. And so that's something really unique and special, where there's 60 plus people on this campus that are all in for volleyball, and seeing that overlap and seeing those athletes be a part, whether that's just watching some of those practices, staying at those games, and being part of that community is something that's really awesome to see. So those are kind of the reasons that Lynchburg was really attractive, and I think had something really unique across that transition over from Liberty for me.
So when I was preparing for, obviously I didn't prepare for the game on the table, but preparing for the interview, just reading up on some of that stuff at Liberty University, it talked about how much you love the technical side of the game and coaching the individuals and the mechanics and those kinds of things, and the mental side as well. Talk about that part of it, and then talk about the other side, the team concepts and the team building and some of the strategies there. Is that an element? I know you always want to get better as a coach, but is that now your next step to try to work on that side too?
Yeah, absolutely. So when it comes down to coaching for myself, I really love skills work, one-on-one training. I think a lot of times that's lacking in the men's game. We're taught to be big, athletic, and just go up and hit the ball. And so we're missing some of the finesse, the technical side that I think a lot of the women's teams have or are taught from a young age, since men's volleyball has been growing over the years. So when it comes down to it, that's just something I like to bring, and is, comes from my passion to the game and from some of my younger coaches that I had who really instilled that in me. And so, when it comes down to the training aspect, I really do like looking at teaching them volleyball, letting them see volleyball in a different way, showing them the angles, the pace, the tempo of the game from the way I saw it and the way I got to play through it. So overall, that's not leaving out the team aspects of it, but it's definitely having a combination of making sure that they're learning and growing in the sport. And so, but the team building and the recruiting and building a standards and culture across that program side is really important, and something that's definitely can't be lacking at all.
So did you watch tape of last year's games and say, oh, I can work with this guy, I can do something with this guy here, that kind of thing?
It's been a lot of film. I followed them when they first started last year. And since the onboarding process, I've been watching a lot of film from the guys and what we have. And we have a lot of great athletes in the gym, a lot of great potential. And the biggest side that we're trying to look at is building great volleyball players. And so I can work with athletes, I can teach volleyball all day. It just comes down to making sure that they get to learn that side of the game that they'll need when we see in competition, when the complexity happens in game.
Do you lean on Coach Cardoza and Thomas and Nathan and Coach Hardy? Do you lean on them for some of those recruiting things as far as where you go from here, or do you have a handle on that yourself anyway?
Yeah, so the unique thing, so at Liberty, that program was a club sport over there. And so there's some similarities to what I was doing on that side of, I recruited heavily as much as I could. There's some similarities between club and D3 when it comes down to athletic scholarships aren't in play. And so when it comes to some of that philosophy and what we're working with, I have a little bit of what we work with, but they've been great to help get me into what Lynchburg looks like and how to sell what they want for their volleyball community out here. Yeah.
Well, I just made the 8-ball accidentally.
I saw that.
So that's a loss. Of course he saw it. But anyway, we got some more time. We'll just knock all the rest of the balls in and keep talking. I mean, and I think knowing what I know about those guys, they probably don't want to step on your toes. They might be waiting for you to ask for help. Are you the kind of guy that you're good at asking for help? Because I know sometimes as guys, you know, we're typically, this is a gender bias right here, but typically guys aren't the best at asking for help, right?
I can be pretty independent. I like to not bring too many problems up, but at least have solutions for them. They've been great though. You know, if we say we don't know what we don't know, so they've been great at giving me some feedback, giving me some pointers from the start, and also trying to give a little bit of space just so I can get my foot in, get in the door, and set in place what we want to have in motion. So, yeah, they've been great for this process, and again, they're ramping up for their women's program too, and so just seeing that we want to grow together and have that success across all the volleyball teams on campus out there.
Now, I know that club scene operates at a pretty high level, but I've also heard that sometimes you're not always going to have somebody there statting the game, or you're not going to have your full complement of coaches to do the stats. Does that mean you're not like a numbers and an analytics guy, or do you still like to have the numbers and the analytics?
So at Liberty, we had a decent amount of resources to work with, so that's what I added to the program for myself.
Okay.
I do love the numbers side and analyzing that game. Now, we don't have all the bells and whistles when it comes down to it, but I make do with what we have, and so that's a really big aspect of the game. I think that's important, especially on the coaching side. So I love to break down the game in every way possible, and so that comes down to playing different versions, seeing different styles, and incorporating the aspects. So yeah, the systems we have involved for stats and film and what we're able to do here for the NCAA side is definitely a step up, and I'm ready to get on board on that side. So that's been something that I've been looking forward to.
Well, as we bring it in for a landing here, let's talk about this season specifically. The ODAC preseason poll came out. You guys were, I think, 5th.
Yep.
What are your expectations? What are your goals for this season? Because as we touched on, there is a lot of talent in the room. There's some guys that proved that last year. Just need the right seasoning and the right coaching.
Absolutely. So personally on our side, again, you speak to the talent in the gym for us. That gym has a lot more talent in it than a lot of people expect. And when it comes down to it, I was able to bring 2 transfers over from Liberty with me, and that helped change the gym environment as well. And so they're all been ready and willing to pick up the pieces and really get on board. So applying that talent to my systems and finding those changes is going to be something that's going to take a little bit of time, but those expectations are still high with that talent. A lot of what we have to do is just a lot of small changes in the gym. And so as long as those athletes are on board with continuing to edit themselves, and they've shown that with their effort, their intention as they come into the gym, we'll be in a great spot. So with the talent we've been able to bring in, with the transfers and what they already had in place, man, we see us trying to lead that conference. 5th is not a bad start, but we know we have a lot more places. Again, we've watched all the film, we've seen what was in place last year, and they just need some standards, some direction, and a little bit of that control with what they have and the pieces that they have to fit into the whole. So when it comes down to it, that expectation is we're pushing for that conference, and we think it's in reach for us, and we're excited to see what we can put on the board.
Well, give us a couple volleyball specific things here before we go. I mean, we learned last year, I should say, how important the serve and pass game is in the men's. It's important in the women's game, but you can speak to this too. In the men's game, it becomes even more important because if you don't serve tough, these guys on the offense just blow you right out of the gym. So what else besides serving, serve, receive? I mean, what are going to be the big keys for you guys this year and maybe going forward just in your entire career?
Yeah, again, my systems are based a lot on aggression and control, but control on the opponent. They're going to attack us in specific ways, and we're going to see a lot of different teams with a lot of different styles of volleyball. Some may have big pins or big middle blockers. So when it comes down to it, we got to be adaptable in some of those systems. So we'll set ourselves up to have the tools necessary to change to each team we have. So that's something really important. While they're playing their game that they want to attack us with, we want to be set up where we can stop them and prevent them from happening. I'm a really big guy on blocking and those defensive systems. Again, blocking was one of my favorite skills. When it comes down to it, being 6'8" really helps on that side. But yeah, it's not all about offense, and I think that's a lot of focus. Those guys are itching to hit the ball and have a good time with that or play. But when it comes down to it, the serve and pass game is huge, and serving aggressive on the men's side is a really big important aspect to that. You can win games without even seeing an offensive system from your serve and from your block. That ball might not even cross that net. So the control of the opponent and specific intention towards that is something that we really focus on. And so we're really going to dive deep into those blocking systems and our defensive systems, making some adjustments to really make sure that we can control whatever opponent we see across.
Who's somebody non-volleyball wise at Lynchburg that's inspired you here in these early days, or maybe they've just made you feel welcome and included? Who's somebody you've bumped into where you're like, man, I really like that guy or girl?
Yeah, well, that's been the pulse for pretty much everyone I've run into. Yeah. Everyone's really welcoming.
That's a cop-out.
It is. I'll get further into it, but it's definitely a cop-out. I mean, but again, during the interview process, we get to sit down with the coaching staff, and it's been great to see. I got to ask them directly, like, what makes you guys stay at Lynchburg? What is it about this place? And most of them said it's the people around us. It's anytime that something comes up, we know that everyone's here for us, and that coaching staff. So all the coaches have been amazing and very welcoming across that board. John Waters and Ed Smith have been really, really helpful on the onboarding process and making sure I have everything that I need to really start what I have in plan for us for the spring semester. We're jumping right into it, so there's not a lot of time I had to work with, but we're hitting the ground running and moving forward. So I would say those two have been really helpful on the non-volleyball side, but they're still part of athletics. But so far, everyone at Lynchburg has been really welcoming in that whole side.
I love it. Joshua Knapp, brand new men's volleyball coach at the University of Lynchburg. You guys are starting soon. I mean, it's going to be a crash course here in January for practice, right?
Yeah. We have 2 weeks before our first game, and when it comes down to it, we're going to have to hit the ground running. Those guys are going to find out fast. So there's a lot of adjustments to make, but again, we're ready for that challenge, and they've been ready for some structure and some direction, and they're ready to go. So they're coming back from breaks. Classes start on this 12th here, and so it's been great to see what they're willing to do. Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. Josh, thank you for being our latest victim on the break, our latest guest on the break. And it's a loss for me. I don't know, we might not want to look at the win-loss record at the end of the season, but I think I might have beaten Kevin, so 1-1 against volleyball people so
Good.
far. But Josh, thank you. Best of luck this year and going forward.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.